Drive is coming up on 412. You're listening to The Drive with Dan Michaels. Polly Lyons is our producer. Mr. Juergens in the KFGO News Center. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. City of Fargo engineering staff, in coordination with the Clay County Highway Department, Minnesota Department of Transportation, and a consulting company, closed the North Broadway Bridge last Thursday at, I think it was noon. No, it was 10 o'clock in the morning that day, and it was just like, boom. I got an update, and it said we're closing the North Broadway Bridge. You're like, wow, what's... those of you who have not been in North Fargo, around Trollwood, and gone on Broadway and had that beautiful drive where you go up, take that right and go across the Red River on the North Broadway Bridge as you're making your way into North Moorhead there. It's a beautiful, beautiful drive, and we are now in danger of not having that bridge anymore. So what the heck happened? That's why we're having this gentleman on, Transportation Division Engineer of the City of Fargo. Jeremy Gordon joins us this afternoon. Jeremy, welcome back to KFGO.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. How do you keep warm, Jeremy?
I heat my garage up to about 75 degrees, and I just go out there and do some work.
Nice. So that's the man cave, the garage at your place?
Yeah, and the work cave as well. So
I suppose. So do you have the floor done in there, and you obviously have heaters, and you've insulated, et cetera?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
TV?
Painted the floor, made it look relatively nice. So, yep.
Oh, I'm envious of you guys who I insulated, and I still haven't bit the bullet on the heaters in the garage, but I bet I'd spend a lot of time out there if I ever did something. So do you keep the cars outside while you're in there?
No, you got. Well, the cars can't be cold either. They got to come in.
So you got plenty of room for all that stuff. So here's the big question. You got a TV out there?
No, but I'm probably going to this summer.
This summer. I got you. Well, good for you. I'm glad to hear that that's how we all have to cope with this stuff. I feel terrible for our neighbors down south who don't know how to cope with the stuff.
Yeah, I feel so bad for them. I feel so bad.
You know, that rang a little sour to me there. All right. Well, heck, Jeremy, what happened to the North Broadway Bridge?
Well, the good news is nothing happened overnight. So, okay, so this bridge is, a pretty basic bridge. There's two abutments, that are on the shore. Then it rests on piers out in the water. Well, one of the piers is tilting. So this pier sits on 100 feet of steel piling. There's 10 chunks of piling, and the ground is just pushing it towards the center of the river. So it's just tilting.
Okay.
And we've known it. It was built in 1990. We've known about it. Basically, I wasn't around here then, but shortly after it was originally built, they noticed the lean to it. So 10 years after the fact, they tried to tie the top of the pier in unscientific, basic engineering terms. They tied the top of the pier just underneath the beams to the abutments, which would be the concrete on the shore.
I would have tried something like that. You could duct tape.
So it worked, but then so that kind of kept the top where it's supposed to be, but then the ground kept moving horizontally.
Oh.
So it was just making it bow out the other way. So long story short, the pier is not really stable, and MnDOT and the consulting engineer says, let's just close this thing and either work towards rehabbing it, replacing it, or using the County 20 bridge, which is nearby.
Right. It's not the same route at all, but yeah, there's still a way to get into North Moorhead from that part of town and everything. So do you have any idea what's causing this movement? Is this just natural movement, or is there something else going on?
No, it's natural. We're graced with just awful soils here in the Red River Valley to try to build anything on. So it's really just the soils. The soil literally can't stand on top of itself. So the river bottom is where all the dirt wants to move to. So most bridge piers are designed in a different way to withstand some of that horizontal movement of the ground. It's literally like mashed potatoes. So it wants to go to the lowest point.
Okay.
Most piers are designed differently. This one was a bad design. So no, the clay is doing its thing. It gets saturated, it gets heavy, it wants to move, and then it dries out. The river level comes down, and then you'll see the bank, eroding, and then the water will come back up. So it's just cyclical. That's just the beauty of the Red River clays.
Yeah, no doubt. No, we're on the bottom of an ancient ocean or an ancient lake anyway, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, that's why you drive around here. It's so flat. The ground just can't stand itself. It has to be in the lowest position possible.
Huh. That's got to make these types of things tough. So is there a fix? Is there going to be a fix? Is there going to be a new bridge? And what's the process?
Yeah, so the good thing is no decisions have been made. We're going to work with Clay County. There's a number of things. So there's the bridge, that's got a bad pier, but the road on the Fargo side has some issues at times where the dirt wants to move and the road kind of wants to fall apart. So we're gonna have the consulting engineer look at what it's going to cost to rehab, replace, raise it up, even potentially get it out of the floodplain. We want to get some customer feedback, public feedback in that area. And then if we do decide to close the bridge, what are the traffic impacts in the nearby streets, and are there residential areas impacted? And if so, what can we do to help mitigate, offset the problem? So
that sounds
no decisions. Yeah, it sounds like a very engineering answer.
Yeah,
that's kind of our process. So nothing's going to happen overnight. It'll probably be 4 to 6 months before we make a final decision.
And then you bring that before the city commission?
Yeah, so this is a co-owned bridge with Clay County, so it'll be a Clay County board and City of Fargo decision.
So one of them could want to do it, and the other one could not want to do it.
I hope we don't get there, but potentially.
Boy, that'd be awful. And any idea what some kind of costs? Top of my head, I'm saying, I don't know, $10 million.
Well, just very basic. If you fix the pier, $2 million. If you replace the bridge just as is, leave it flood prone, $4 million. If you get that thing out of the 100-year floodplain, it's 10, 12, 15 million. So there's a lot of options we can look at.
Well, I certainly don't want to spend anybody else's money and don't want to spend taxpayers' money. However, if we're going to fix it, we might as well fix it so that we don't ever have this problem again. And I would guess that's answer number 3 that you just gave there. Can you give us an idea what a bridge like that would look like? I'm guessing we'd go up and over then.
Yeah, so if you think about NDSU 12th Avenue Bridge over the railroad tracks, it'd have to be a scale.
Wow.
Up. I mean, this bridge is a low bridge. It goes underwater at flood stage 23 feet. So
right.
At times it's way underwater. So it would be a massive bridge. There'd be serious impacts to try to do something like that in this location. So
that just doesn't seem very likely. It's a small little area right there that we're talking about. I guess it depends on, like you said, your transportation study about how often the bridge is used, which is going to make some impact. But politicians devote for a $10 million expenditure. That might be something down the line. But, boy, that sure is a beautiful part of Fargo. It's a gorgeous area. It's just north of Trollwood there. It's a beautiful spot, and it's a lovely little bridge. I'm so sorry to see that go away, Jeremy.
No, it's too bad. That's just what happens, I guess, in nature. So we got to try to make the best with what we have.
I understand. So what's the next thing you do? What's your first step?
We are going to have the consulting engineering firm put together some options, and I think we'll work with Clay County, and we'll probably have a public input, public gathering time where people can call us, write us, talk to us about what their thoughts are on the bridge.
All right.
And hopefully the consulting engineer will have something probably to us 2 to 3 months down the road for us to look at and review and gauge as to where we want to go. And then we'll bring it to our elected bodies after that. Okay.
And as long as I've got you on the phone, is there any other bridges that you're looking at, any other problems in town?
No. I mean, this is, thankfully, this is the only bridge that has structural issues.
Okay. Well,
I know the 12th Avenue Bridge goes underwater as well, but there's not a structural issue there.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. It's good to know that you're on the job as well. Jeremy Gordon, Transportation Division Engineer for the City of Fargo. We're talking about the North Broadway Bridge and the fact that it closed up so fast. And on the way out of here, Jeremy, people are going to need to go up to County Road 20 to get across the river to get into Moorhead and vice versa from now on.
Yep.
Not too challenging of a deal, but, it's just not in that little neighborhood anymore. But you can get through there. There's other ways to do it until we figure out what we're doing with the bridge. Well, Jeremy, just wanted to know, why that bridge just suddenly closed like that and it can't go up on the North Broadway trip anymore. Jeremy Gordon, Transportation Division Engineer, joining us for the City of Fargo. Jeremy, thanks very much. You stay warm.
Thanks for having me on. I'll try.
You bet. Our pleasure always. See you in the garage.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right. See ya. KFGO time is